All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our platform productivity session on workflows. It has just turned 10 o'clock, so we're going to give it
No, let's give it a few minutes.
just a minute, yeah, and see if any more people want to join along.
Some people are a little late from time to time, but
It's okay, yeah.
everyone's busy, aren't they?
What we always do at the start of these webinars is what the national day is. So it's the 26th of June today, which is apparently a National Handshake Day. So
Yeah. Handshakes to you all. Oh, it's a better. Oh, sorry. Thought you were going to give me like a funky handshake then.
And then maybe we should get like
We haven't prepped that. Yeah, we'll have to think about
next year.
Yeah.
All right, that's one pass. So I think we've given everyone enough time.
Yeah, let's get it going. We'll have the recording if I missed the beginning anyway. So welcome everyone to the final part of our platform productivity series. In this series, we've covered using tasks for personal and team productivity, using notes and files to keep track of updates and share information effectively, and how to use dashboards to support day-to-day activities and be your quick source of information. So each of these parts are available on demand on our website, so you can watch them back whenever works for you. Jenna is joining me on today's session, and we'll be going through how you can use your platform workflows to be more productive.
Yes, so workflows are not just for customer communications, although they do a great job of that. You can also use them to highlight issues to your teams. That could be things like gaps in your data, sending alerts, generating tasks to admins. So that's what this session is all about today.
Yep, so before we go into it, here's a little bit of housekeeping.
There we go.
So everything that we will be covering today is available in your off-the-shelf platform. There's no extra modules needed. This is all core Access Planet functionality, so you can implement anything we talk about straight after today's session.
Yeah, we're going to be obviously recording today like we always do, so that'll be available quite soon after if you want to share it with any colleagues or if you want to rewatch anything. And then also the Q&A is open throughout the session, so we'll get to those at the end, but yeah, feel free to log as we go. And yeah, we'll cover that at the end of the session.
Yeah, so let's have a look at our agenda for today. So we're going to look at 3 areas today to find out how workflows can help our productivity. So first of all, we're going to look at how you can use workflows to send your team alerts when something is wrong, or ideally before something goes wrong. That's probably better if we do that. Then we'll have a look at how workflows can be used to create tasks when some additional work is needed. And finally, we'll wrap up with a quick overview of what the daily course summary email is. So as usual, we'll wrap up at the end with Q&A. So please submit any questions you have as we go, and we'll do our best to answer all of those at the end.
Cool.
So hello again, I'm Frank, one of Access Planet's customer success managers. So if you've attended any of the other platform productivity webinars in this series, you'll recognise me.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not bored of me.
Or 4.
It's my last one for a while, so if you are, Jack will be in there soon.
No one could get bored of you, Frank.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm Jenna, I'm Access Planet's Customer Education Manager. And if you came to the first productivity webinar, the tasks one, then you'll recognise me from that.
Sure, everybody recognises you.
Been here far too long. Okay, so quick introduction on what workflows are before we get into it. So you'll probably all know workflows as the way to automate communications to customers, trainers, and so on. You know, what are they? They're a powerful automation tool, and they're really configurable. That's one of the best things about them. So you can define the content of your communications, all the criteria for them sending, when they send, who they send to. And like I said, most people use them for those customer comms, but they can also be used for internal communications and also task generation. So it's not just your customers that can benefit from this automation and alerts, But we know not many people use workflows for internal, so that's what we want to talk about today. But should we run the poll?
Yeah, everyone loves
Okay.
a good poll, don't they? So
Poll.
let's run a quick poll to see how are you using workflows currently.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Let's launch the poll and let's see. So it's always useful for us to see where everyone's at with workflows. If you're brand new to them, that's totally fine. That's the idea behind this session, to give you plenty of ideas to take away. And if you've already got a few things running, hopefully we can show you how to level them up for internal use as well.
Nice.
I'll give everyone a few more seconds.
You can select multiple with this as well. So if you're using workflows for multiple things, then you can select more than one. Okay, enough seconds?
Yeah, I think
Hope
that's
enough time for
fair.
everyone. All right, so we'll get the results on screen there. Let's have a look. So, okay, most people using them for customer communications, like that's what we used to. Got some people that are not using them yet, using them for internal updates. We've got a little bit of internal updates and task generation. So might be able to spark some inspiration today for more ways that you can do that. And then for people who aren't doing that yet, hopefully there'll be a bunch of stuff you can take away from today. All right.
Yeah,
that was
thanks,
good.
guys.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Well, you'll find today very helpful then.
Okay, so we'll start with you. This is a really practical way to use workflows, and that's as internal alerts. So what do we mean by that? We're talking about automatic notifications that go to your team when something important happens in your platform. So this is, instead of you having to monitor a dashboard or keep refreshing a report to see what's changed, you can let workflows like do that work for you. So whether you need to be notified that a course has been cancelled, or a booking by a certain customer account has happened, or someone's failed a course, you can trigger workflows internally to the right person at the right time. You don't have to do that manual digging. So that means you can just act a lot more quickly. You've got that peace of mind that you're going to get told when an issue happens, stay ahead of the issues, all that good stuff, and just ultimately give your customers a better experience and be more productive. That's the point of the webinar. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to look at two examples, but the alerts that you need for your team may be completely different. So while we go through these examples, have a think, what kind of changes or events would your team benefit from knowing about automatically? So feel free to pop your ideas in the chat as well. So the two examples we will go through are a not coming course.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting too excited. A not coming course is not meeting our minimum profit targets. This alert could be very valuable to your team, so you can decide whether this course still goes ahead, whether it needs to be promoted more or cancelled or postponed. I've already given you this one. So a customer that has been upgraded to a key account, this alert could be a great info share. Additionally, if there were any actions that need to be completed, then they can be listed in the email.
Yeah. So that's like Fran said, that's just two examples. So have a think about what you would need. It might be that you want your team to be notified when you've got an overcapacity course, or when specific customers have got expiring awards coming up. Or it could be that you are head of sales and you want to know when a new opportunity gets raised, or when an opportunity has been raised and hasn't been replied to in 2 weeks, or something like that. So, have a think. And like Frank said, use the chat. If you've got any inspiration or things that you might want to do, stick it in there, because that's good for us to know and good to share with everyone attending. Okay, so that first example of an internal alert, this is the one where we're going to be notified when a course is coming up that isn't meeting our profit targets. So we've got an example course here. It's the Gardening Level 1, happening in March 26, so it's quite far away. But this course, we've got several delegates booked on, Aggie, Barry, and Jonathan. We've got a placeholder booking as well. And then we've got two resources in use. We've got the trainer, Andrew, and we've got the castle. So those have expense numbers associated with them. And at the moment, based on all of this, we are only forecast to make £33.33 on this course, which isn't the best profit, we could argue. So we could set an alert up to let us know when courses aren't expected to break even, or you could set it up to notify you when a course isn't making a certain amount of profit or income. So it's not meeting £100 or 200, 300, whatever that you want, whatever you want that to be. Basically, and then being notified of this in comfortable time ahead of the course means you can choose to market it further. So that course is not until March. We've got a while. We can start plugging that a lot more. Alternatively, if it was a lot closer, we could look at rescheduling it, moving it to a date further to give us more opportunities to market. Or it might be that it's just not viable. We're going to cancel the course altogether. So we'll have a quick look at an example of what we can include in our alert. So this is just, you could put whatever you like in here, but this is the example. We've called this low profit course. We've got a line at the top that says what the forecast profitability is, and then emphasized what that forecast profitability is. This one's just £100. Then we've got the details of the course. This is useful for the person who's receiving it to know what course we're talking about, when's it running, how many delegates have we got on, and then we've got those forecast numbers at the bottom as well, the income, expenditure, and profit. But this is an email template. You can put the content in that makes sense to you and your team.
So let's show you how this alert has been put together. So if you go into the administration section, let's have a look at the email templates. So we've already created one, so let's search for it.
Admin up.
So the admin upcoming unprofitable, that's a difficult word. So first of all, this one is with the module of the course. And then with the subject, just make sure you have it really specific. We've got some merge fields there as well. And then here we've got plenty of use of merge fields, the course, the date, the costs. And then further down, we've even got, forecasted values for income, expenditure, profit. Use as many as you want, as few as you want. It's totally up to you. So let's have a look how we created the workflow. So let's go into the workflow data grid. And then here's one we created earlier again.
Yeah. Admin up.
So let's have a look at this. So the modules need to match up. So course. And let's have a look at the settings.
Bit more space. There we go.
So the forecast is less than or equal to 500. Course status is fully booked, available, and the parent course IDs is empty. And then if we look at the actions, so this one will be an email. And this is 10 days before the start date. Obviously, if you want to be notified before then, you set it a month before, whatever works best for you.
Cool. Okay, so our second example of using workflows as alerts is when a customer account becomes a key account. Now, this is a custom field. So if you don't have this in your platform, that's because it's been created especially for this demo. But just to show you, you can have alerts based on your custom info as well. So that key alert, just give it a little shake. Oh, I don't know. We were supposed to shake. Never mind.
I think I shook it before.
Oh, did you?
Sorry, guys.
Oh, well.
Let's get it
That's okay. Is it going to shake? No, that's fine. So like I say, this key account, it's a custom field, and we want to let our team know as soon as an account becomes a custom field, as soon as someone on our team checks that box, we want to know that as soon as possible so that we can share that info. There it is. Right. It did the shake.
See, just teasing you a bit.
So we can info share key accounts might be treated differently, have different service targets, different ways of communicating with that customer, or different people looking after them. So an information share with the team is obviously important, but it might also prompt actions. So when an account becomes a key account, your team might need to do some things, send them a box of chocolates, schedule a meeting in, that kind of thing. But yeah, this is all about generating an alert when something happens. In this case, a customer is becoming a key account. So what kind of info would we include in this alert? So ours is, we've given it the title of new key account. Great news, name of the account has just been elevated to a key account. We've included some core information in there, like the ID, the name, what group they're in, when they were created, their last booking and last course, and then the next steps. So our team now need to start working on a key account plan. We need to ensure the content department are aware and schedule a strategic review meeting. Lovely. So yeah, that's the example.
So how do we send this alert out? Let's have a look at how the alert will be triggered. That's another video for you guys. So let's go to the accounts data grid and let's find an account, and then we can edit it in here. So if we hit edit, and there you go, key account. Like we said before, it's a custom field, so it wouldn't be in your platform yet unless you created it.
Oh, Barrows LLC, nice.
So now if we head into the email templates, let's find a template already created.
That uses the account module.
Yeah. And then here's the email with all the merge fields as well.
Yeah, you just choose what merge fields make sense to you and your team.
Yeah, I mean, you can have.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
There might be too many.
Sometimes you don't want to put too much information. You might overwhelm people, but that looks about right there.
And how do we automate it?
So let's have a look at the workflow. So back into the workflows. Let's look for the workflow for key accounts, promoted to key account. So as you can see, it's the same module, which is account. Let's have a look at the settings. So key account has changed and it's now equal to yes. So it's now become a key account. So this one again is emails. So this one will send 2 minutes after they've been changed to a key account. And then with this is going to go to Peter. It's up to you, you know, how many people it goes to.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be like the account owner or anything that you can specify specific email addresses. So yeah, in this case, Peter.
Yeah, so if you've got a sales team, for example, they manage the key accounts, just put their email address out.
Yeah, and there's the email template we saw earlier.
Yeah, so let's have a look at whether our email has been sent now to Barrows LLC.
Yeah.
So if we just have a look at the communications, there it is. Let's preview it. And then you can see it there. All the merge fields have populated as well.
Not sure why they're a key account though, because they've not made a booking since 1990.
Maybe it's key.
Or 1900.
Maybe it's key that we make contact with them to get them going.
Cool. Okay, so just as a quick recap, using workflows as alerts, we've looked at how you can use workflows to notify when an upcoming course is unprofitable, and then when a customer has been updated to key account using that custom field. So we'll move on now to using workflows to generate tasks. So this is where workflows can really help you kind of stay in control of your processes. So especially this is good for the kinds of tasks that don't always need to happen. It's only when, you know, certain circumstances are met. So this could be a follow-up call when someone fails a course, or a reminder to update a record when a booking's been changed. You know, you don't want to assign that task to someone for every single delegate or every single booking. You only want to generate the task when it's actually needed. So And this is where workflows come in. You can automatically create those tasks when the right conditions are met so that nothing slips through the cracks. And importantly, you're holding the right people accountable for those jobs. There's no guessing, no chasing down. It's all in your platform and tracked. Yeah.
Again, we're going to look at 2 examples, but the tasks your team needs will almost certainly be completely different.
Yeah.
So while we go through these examples, have a think, what kind of events in your platform would lead to a task needing to be completed? The chat is open if you would like to share any.
Yeah.
So the 2 examples we'll be going through are...
Sorry, that's my fault.
I'm getting trigger happy. Sorry, guys. Attendance has not been marked on the course. This task is for an admin to chase up attendance being marked on the course. Without this, courses could slip through the net and your delegates could be missing certificates or surveys. So an invoice has not been paid and it's been 3 weeks since the due date. Excuse me. This task is for an admin to start calling the customer now. The automated emails are not doing enough.
Yeah. So again, this is just 2 examples. Have a think about what you could need and what tasks are needed by your team. So another couple just as examples. So a course has been cancelled and you need to notify the venue. You wouldn't need that task for every course. You only need it when the course is cancelled. Or similar one, when a course is missing a venue, 1 week before the course, you might need a task for a specific admin to go and find, a good venue for this course. So yeah, we'll have a look at the examples. Nice. All right. So starting with this first one, creating a task for an admin when the attendance hasn't been marked. So here we've got an example course. This is the yoga course that happened on the 6th of June. We have 3 delegates registered onto this course, but they're all still booked. So the attendance hasn't been marked, whether that's the responsibility of the trainer or a certain administrator to do this. Either way, it's not happened. So we want to have a task generated now to make sure that attendance gets marked. So if you, let's have a look at the example task. So we've called it complete course attendance. It's been assigned to the user Janice. So Janice needs to do this task. The details, the description of it is make sure the course attendance has been marked by close of play. And then we've used the workflow to define the start date of the course, the due date, that's all auto-calculated, what type, the priority, default status is not started. So that's our task. You could set this up to be generated 5 days after the course, 2 days, 10 days, that's completely up to you. And then we would, of course, just set it up so that it only generates for courses that haven't had their attendance marked yet. That's the key thing.
Let's have a look at how it is set up. It is all built in the workflows.
No email templates here.
So let's have a look at the workflow templates. So let's click on admin task. A course requires attendance marking. So this is in the module of class course. Settings. So course status is in fully booked, in progress, or available. So the actions on this is create a task rather than on an email, which we showed you before. And then that's how we've named it as well. So this will be 3 days afterwards, after it's created. It's going to go against the account training department. It's created by Tom Smith, and it will be mapped to the trigger.
Yeah, and that's the kind of important thing with this is the trigger object. So the object that's triggering this workflow is the course. So this means that the task is going to be mapped to the course it relates to. Hopefully that makes sense. So it'll be all in the right place.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to see it on there as well.
Yeah.
So let's go and find a course with a task so we can show you how it will appear on there.
Yeah, course is still available and it was on the 6th of March. So we can see that
the task hasn't started on this one because you're going to start it right away. So status not started, and then this is where you will update it.
Yeah, so that's nice and automatically created for us. Okay, second example then is creating a task for an admin when an invoice has not been paid. So just to walk through this example, this is invoice 117, and looking at the communications that have been sent on the 6th of May, so at the bottom there, we had a friendly reminder send out that the invoice was now overdue. A week later, we had a second notice. The invoice is still outstanding. And then on the 20th of May, we had an urgent payment still required for overdue invoice. So clearly the automated emails that we're sending out through workflows are not working. So we need a task now to get in touch, get this customer on the phone and chase for payment. So our task subject is chase for payment. The user that's completing it is Maxwell Brown. They need to contact the customer via phone to chase for payments. It's over 3 weeks overdue now. That's our description. And then again, the start date, the due date, the type, priority, default status, all of this is set up in our task in the workflow so you can choose these things. So yeah, you can choose the timing and who is responsible plus all of that.
So let's have a look at how we set this one up. So let's go into the invoices data grid this time. And let's search for an old invoice. So invoice 85. And then here we can see the tasks. So this one has been completed. And then as it was set up in the task, it's 3 weeks after the due date has passed.
Yep.
And let's have a look at the workflow as well. So chase for payment workflow, 3 weeks after an invoice being overdue. So this one will be module invoice. So let's expand that. So status is in outstanding, part completed. And then with this one, it will create a task. It's 3 weeks after the due date of the invoice. Set by the training department, the user will be Tom, and then it'll be mapped to the invoice as we just showed you. And then as default, not started, chase for payment, and it will be assigned to Maxwell on this occasion.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so just to quickly recap, those were our two examples, but like we said before, the tasks that your team will need will probably be very, very different. So we looked at how you can send a task when the attendance has not yet been marked on a course, and then when an invoice has been overdue by 3 weeks. So it's still outstanding or part completed, and it's now 3 weeks after the due date.
Before we wrap up, we want to give a quick honourable mention to one more really handy use of workflows, and that's the daily course summary email. So this is a single consolidated email that sends out each morning with a list of all the courses running that day, including key details like the number of delegates, their status and the trainer. It's a simple way to give your team a daily overview without having to log in or run a report. If your team would benefit from starting their day with that kind of visibility, this is definitely worth exploring.
Yeah, so it's a good way to keep your, as it says here, trainers and admins in the loop with the courses that are running today. So just a quick run through, it sends at a fixed time each morning. So you can pick that time. When we have this set up for our courses, ours sends at 7:30 each morning. So when you get to your desk first thing, you've got the list of everything that's running that day. And then the obvious bit, it contains a list of courses that are running that day. So that's that. And then you can choose what information you display about those courses. So if you want to include profitability numbers, that's fine. If you want to include delegate numbers, venue details, whatever it is that you care about that you want to be notified. For us, we keep it quite simple. It's just the name of the course, who's it for, and the time. And yeah, we keep it really easy. But yeah, that's up to you. Quick example here. This one's a little bit more comprehensive than the one that we use, but course is running today at the top, nice and clear. And then for each course, we've got name of the course in bold, its ID in brackets, the format, the date range, what its status is, who's leading it, where it is, and how many delegates are booked. So that's just a kind of an example. Yeah.
So how do we build the email template to send this type of email? We're not going to get into lots of details here because this is just an honourable mention, but as a quick overview so you can see what is possible. So on the left, we have the email template, and on the right, we have the email that will be sent. Within the email template, we have added the fixed text at the top, courses running today, and here are the courses running today. Below that, we have lots of merge fields where we have chosen what information we want to include in our email for each course that is running today. And that includes the course label, its ID, its type, its date range, the status, etc. Again, just do whatever's best for you guys. We've even included some bold in there. Then to make sure the email includes multiple courses, we wrap all of that in the square brackets. The square brackets basically tells you your platform to repeat all of that for each course.
Yeah, that's all we'll cover on this today. But if you want any help setting up a courses running today email, then get in touch with our support team. They can guide you through that process. Okay, nice. So to recap, we covered 3 areas today. First of all, using workflows as alerts. Then we looked at generating tasks based on certain criteria happening in the platform. And then finally wrapped up with that little honorable mention of daily course summary email. So let's move on to Q&A.
Seen some questions popping up.
Right, nice. Oh, should we have a, yeah?
Yeah, let's have a look at them, yeah.
Okay, so first question, this is a great question and one we get a lot of, so thank you, Lol, for this one. So how do you choose which module to use? And like I said, we get this a lot. So when it comes to choosing the module for your email templates and your workflows, you want to think about where is the source of my information coming from? So what's going to trigger this workflow to send? Like what is actioning? So for example, if I want to send an email to a customer because their invoice is overdue, the thing that's triggering it is the invoice. It's the invoice being overdue that means I want something to happen. So my module is going to be invoice. Similarly, if I want to send an email about a course being unprofitable, then I would use the course module because it's about that item. It's about the courses. So module for course. And then you do have a bit more flexibility with the courses and delegates modules because you can start to specify using modules whether you want your workflow or email template to be about all courses, in which case you would use the course module, or whether you would like it to be just for classroom courses. So for alerts like there's a missing venue, you wouldn't want that for webinar courses because webinar courses don't need a venue. But so in that case, you would go with the class course module instead. So hopefully that helps. But we did run a dedicated webinar on choosing your platform module because this is such a common question. So we'll link you that over because it's a good watch. Yeah. And then, do you want to just do that? Cool. And then second question, also important that the modules match the email template and the workflows. But if you don't know about the modules, which are relevant, can be very confusing. Yeah, look, I think it's the same answer because we do get this quite a bit. So about understanding which module you need at the point of creating the email template. The good thing though, is that you can change the module on your email template. So if it comes down the line, you get to the point where you're creating your workflow and you're like, damn, I should have used the class course module instead of the course module, then you can always go back and change that. There definitely is an element of like practicing and stuff, but yeah, you'll get there for sure. And give us a shout if you ever need any help with it. That's what our team are for.
Yeah, like you said, in the email template, you can change the module there, but you can't in the
workflow. Yeah, it's because once you've put rules in, it would be quite dangerous if you then started changing the module.
When you start working the workflows, if you realize it's the wrong module in the email, then you can just go into the email, change the module.
Yeah. That's why we always say start with the email template because that's where you can kind of suss it out a bit more. Yeah. Good work. Great questions. Yeah. We do have a few pre-prepared ones. So while if you guys have got any more questions you want to bring in, then please do.
So can we assign multiple people to workflow generated tasks?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you're creating tasks through workflows, if you want to assign multiple people like we've done here, we've got Maxwell and Penelope assigned to this task. That means that when the task gets generated, it will be for both people, but it will be a shared task. They're not going to get a task each. They will have a shared task that they're both assigned to. And that means if Penelope completes it, it will be removed from Maxwell's list as well. So you don't end up with two people, duplicating work. So yeah, yes, you can. That was a long answer. Sorry.
It's all right. Can I track when the tasks are completed?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So when tasks get generated through workflows, they get created just like normal tasks. So they go and sit in the normal tasks data grid. You can look at them mapped to the courses or whatever they're mapped to in the same way as you would any other task. So yeah, you can track when they're completed, not completed, overdue, all that good stuff.
What happens if the condition for a task changes after it's created? Like if the attendance is marked late, for example.
Yeah, so it's a good point. So if a task has been generated because that attendance hasn't been marked, and then before you get to the task, the trainer marks the attendance, the task won't delete itself automatically. So that's worth keeping in mind if you've got tasks with especially long durations. Sorry, I just hate that. Then yeah, if you've got tasks with really long durations, and that's worth keeping in mind, just double check that the task is still necessary before you put a lot of time into it.
Can I send daily course summaries to trainers?
Yes, and this is really popular actually. So the example that we walked through before was a version for administrators or the kind of things that you would send to a reception desk at the start of the day, but you can send a trainer version. So here's one that's for Ellie, the trainer, and it shows all the courses that they're leading today. So yeah, absolutely, that's completely fine.
How do I stop getting too many alerts and overwhelming the team?
Yeah, it's another good question. So with this, you are completely in control of your workflow. So if you find that some people are getting inundated with alerts and it's too much and everything's getting, they're spread a bit too thin across their emails, then you can change the recipients, you can turn off workflows, make them more targeted, like I said, you're completely in control. So yeah, all in all, very, very easy to update it when you need it. Yeah. Okay, well, so thank you so much, everyone, taking the time to join the session today. We did overrun by a little bit, but hopefully that was helpful, useful, and so on. If you do have any questions about anything that we've talked about today, please get in touch with the support team. They are available via the support portal and also on the phones.
So have a great rest of your day, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.